In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use Facebook to generate hundreds of qualified candidates every single month for your open positions. My name is Sam. I'm with Boostpoint. We implement this for hundreds of clients every single month. Brands like Generac, Kohler, USPS, the biggest healthcare systems in the US, construction companies, skilled trades, the full gamut of job types. Facebook really works. And in this video, we're going to share the AI prompts we use to generate images and videos, the best targeting strategies, the best conversion strategies to turn clicks and views into actual candidates, qualified candidates in your pipeline. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right in. So I'm sharing my screen here of just some examples of campaigns that are pulling in high volume of candidates that are pre-qualified. So here's an example of call center, entry-level sales, and like door-to-door marketing and sales jobs here. And here you can see we're flooding a high volume of candidates. The cost per candidate here is super affordable. Healthcare is another segment that does really well on Facebook and Instagram ads. Here's an example of an account where we're running ads for registered nurses mainly, but other healthcare positions. We see really good volume and decent quality at a very good ROI. The cost per qualified candidate with Facebook for nursing is often a little bit better than what you'll see with Indeed. This kind of depends a lot on geography and things like that. Caregivers is another solid job category that performs super well on Facebook. All right, so let's dive right in. So we're going to go through the nuts and bolts of how to set this up within Ads Manager. So there's kind of two assets that you want to think about with Facebook is you're going to need a page like a careers page, ABC company careers, or just like your branded Facebook page. That's what you're going to be running your ads on behalf of. And then you'll also need a Facebook ad account or a Meta ad account. And that's what we're in right now. And I'm going to show you how to build a campaign from scratch right here. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is actually create our images, video, and the ad copy for our ad. And I'm going to show you how to completely use AI to do this, where you don't need a marketing background or have a team of marketers to build this for you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a job description that we're going to use. So this is going to be our example job for this campaign, a registered nurse position for Penn State Health. So we're going to go ahead and copy this job description right here. And then I'm going to also copy my prompt to create the image. Well, we're going to do the ad copy first. So go ahead and pull over this prompt. And we're going to use ChatGPT for this right here. So here is my prompt. We're going to throw that in first. And then we're going to throw in my job description at the end and click create. So let ChatGPT do its thing. Here we go. It's working on it. And while this is doing this, I'm going to go ahead and grab my prompt to create the headline for the ad as well. All right, here is our ad copy. So a couple of things that's baked into this prompt that I'm not going to go into super detail, but it works every time is, you have a good intro to the job. It's basically keeping the same integrity of the job description, but it's just turning it into an ad and a format for Facebook. So it's first talking about, why this person might want this job, the most important things here, bullet points of the benefits of the job, and then a closing inviting people to apply. So that's our ad copy. I'm going to go ahead and throw in our prompt to create the headline for the ad. Needs the job description. Let's throw that in here. Give it a second. All right, perfect. This format we use pretty much all the time for creating the headline. Now hiring in bold, followed by the job title. Again, don't overcomplicate this. Clarity trumps everything in Facebook advertising. I always say clarity over being clever. in ad copy. Be clear and concise as possible. All right, so now that we got our ad copy, I'm gonna go ahead and pull our image prompt over, and we're gonna use, we go back and forth of using, ChatGPT. Gemini right now has a really good image creation model as well, but we're gonna use ChatGPT here for this example. Here we go, and put in the job description right here at this placeholder. Bam. Click create. All right, so this is going to take a minute here. We're going to fast forward. All right, so for the video, we're going to be using Gemini. So I'm going to go ahead and pull over my prompt here to create a video. And here's the job description. We're going to put in here, bam, and create videos. So Gemini, Google, their tool is VO3. And so I believe there's a free version to VO3. I have the paid version here. It's like $200 a month. But I believe there's a free version where you can test this out and, do a couple sample videos without paying anything. You'll want to fact check me on that. But their paid version, you get like unlimited creations basically. All right, so we're going to let that create for a couple minutes here. Why don't we go back to our image? Here we go. All right, so here's our infographic for the job ad. So here, again, you can see some of the main details about the position packaged in a nice infographic. So this is crazy that you can get creatives just like this without needing to hire a graphic designer. So we are going to download this and then we'll use these for the images. All right, so let's take a look at our video here.
Advance your career as an RN registered nurse attending in cardiology. Enjoy a culture of excellence, great benefits, and growth. Apply now. Advance your career.
All right, so that's not bad as far as the video goes. I'll probably make a couple tweaks to the prompts. I'm not liking like all the stuff in the background. I might also crop it and tell it to do it in vertical format instead of horizontal format that it is right now. But it's actually not bad at all. All right, so now we're going to go through the technical details of setting up your ad campaign. So this is Facebook Ads Manager. We really recommend setting up your campaigns per job type. So again, for this example, it's for an RN position. Say I would have multiple RN positions. I could create one campaign because it's one job type, and then we could just set up different ad sets per address. So we'll dive into that specifically. But let's go ahead and start from scratch. We're going to hit create. We're going to do a lead generation campaign. So choosing the campaign objective, we're going to create leads. Hit continue. You'll want to name your campaign ad set. Usually the job type and the organization's name, in the campaign, and then maybe break that down to the individual jobs in the ad sets. But whatever naming convention, you prefer, has nothing to do with your performance, just for organization's sake. We're going to go lifetime budget here. You can do either a daily spend or a lifetime budget, but we don't want to spend more than, let's say, $750 over a 30-day period. So we're going to do a lifetime budget of $750. Special ad category. You do need to declare a special ad category for employment. It takes away some of the targeting capabilities and things like that, but we'll go through on how you can still get amazing targeting even with some of the limitations under the employment ad category. All right, so now our campaign is set up. We're going to go into the ad set now. And then right here, the conversion, we're going to do instant forms for the conversion. That's right. Let's go ahead, Boostpoint. And you're going to create the page on that you're going to advertise on behalf of. And going to go down here to budget and schedule. Here's where you can create your schedule. We're going to run a 1-month campaign. So start date February 4th to March 4th. Then it'll automatically stop running. Location, here's important. Obviously, we're going to do this job, I believe, was in Lancaster, PA. So we're going to create, look at Lancaster City. There we go. And then here you can run either a 15 or a 50-mile radius. However long you think people would be willing to commute for this job, that's where all your advertising spend is going to be. You can also add multiple locations. So like say you have, this job and you have, 5 different facilities that you're hiring for, you can add those all within one ad set. Or you can split, them up between different ad sets as well. But you can put multiple locations under one campaign. I do recommend the more you can bundle it into a single ad set and share the budget with a bigger audience is usually where you'll get more efficient cost per applicant and more efficient advertising metrics. All right, so that's our ad set up. Now we're going to go into the individual ad and what our ad is actually going to look like. So for this, we are going to input our media. So select images here, going to upload and bring in the images we just created, ChatGPT, upload those here, and select both of those. And we're going to download our video then as well that we created previously. And where are we at? Here we go. Select videos, upload, bam, bam. All right, now we got our images and video. On images and video, we do recommend, doing 5 or more assets per campaign. The more options you give Facebook to choose from, the better performance. One thing changed in the Facebook ad algorithm mid 2025 was basically the more assets you add to a campaign, the better your performance is, because it just gives the algorithm more options to choose from. So we're doing 3 here just to get through this here, but I would recommend creating different variations, going back to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me a variation with this type of person, that type of person. You can put 5, 10, 15 different assets in one campaign. Will actually help for performance. All right, now that we got our images and videos figured out, now I copied and pasted the ad text over here that we got from ChatGPT earlier. We're also going to bring over our headline for the job. Give me a second, find that. Here we go. And headline. We need a description for this as well. We're going to go back to ChatGPT actually and generate a short description for this Facebook ad. Let ChatGPT give this for us. And yep, that's great. It's probably going to be a bit too long, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll throw it in there. Nope, we're good on length there on the description. Display link, you'll want to bring over the career site for the display link in the ad. This just shows up, especially in the Facebook placement. It'll show up, just give like a little preview of the URL. The call to action, we can use apply now. And then now we're going to generate our form. Think about the form as like a quick apply application for the job. So we're going to go ahead and start from a blank form. Continue. A couple things here. You're going to want the headline. Headline, often used just like the job title. Now hiring, kind of similar to the headline that we had earlier. Additional details. We're actually going to bring the description we pulled over earlier right there. Give them a little summary. And then questions. So questions, this is going to be extremely important when you think of quality and then also targeting for the campaign. So obvious ones, you're going to want, contact information, and their name. But then you're also going to want to add questions to this form. So we suggest doing multiple choice, and then you can also do some short answer questions as well. So, but multiple choice, certain things you're going to want to ask are, actually, we're just going to go to ChatGPT, make it easier on ourselves. Give me 3 to 5 screening questions for people that are applying for this job. So we'll let ChatGPT actually generate these for us. Here we go. This is the main one. Like if a job, requires a license, you'll always want to put that as one of the first ones. I'm going to turn on logic. I'll show you what that means in a bit here. What other questions do we have? All right, so now we have our 5 screening questions in there. I'm going to click on conditional logic here. I clicked this on a little bit earlier. So now why this is important, we're going to do yes or no answers to these questions. And then for questions that are a hard requirement, like this position, you obviously need an RN license in the state of Pennsylvania. So we're going to say if a person answers yes to this, they can go to the next question. But if they answer no to this, we're actually going to close the form and we're just going to direct them to the career site where they can maybe look for another job that they might be qualified for. So we're going to go through each one of these and create logic based on this would be another hard requirement, an associate's degree or higher. So we're going to do this. Yes. We'll go to next question and no. We're going to close the form. All right. So you're going to do that for all the questions. Something like this. Do you have experience providing direct patient care, collaborating with patients? Like this might not be a hard requirement. So we could do yes, no. But the logic here is we're going to submit it regardless. So like this is not going to be a knockout question. Submit form on both a yes or no answer. All right, so we got the questions set up. You're going to want to bring things like your privacy policy over, and then also you're going to want to create what your landing pages are, or your basically like a landing page after they answer the question. So the most times what we direct clients to do is we'll actually take like the online application. Like if the next step is for them to actually apply officially and share their resume, you can add that call to action as submit resume. So you can set up a secondary call to action for, once someone actually fills out this form, where they'll be directed to. So this is a quick example of what we now created and what the user will see. So they hit apply now, they'll see this, hit continue, they'll put in their contact information and answer the questions and be all set. So, all right, that is the form creation process right there. So let's talk about targeting for a second. We said we'd touch base on that a little bit. One of the first, there's 2 big layers of targeting that really determine who sees the algorithm and who sees your ads. Number one is just your content, having like your job title and being very clear and specific who this ad is talking to. We have the location of the job title. It's in the ad copy quite a bit. We're very explicit on like what this job is. Things like that in the ad copy have a big indicator as far as like the algorithm, the Facebook ad algorithm, who the ad is going to be shown to. So just your content itself has a big indicator. The second big layer though that a lot of people miss is the qualification data. So the conversion data coming through the ad. So because we set up these screening questions in the form, the quality of conversions is going to be a lot greater versus if we wouldn't pre-screen at all. What that does is it trains the Facebook ads go through this learning phase, especially the first couple days. And basically, one of the things that's happening there is Facebook is analyzing the conversion data, like who's engaging with the ad, who's actually applying. And then they're using that conversion data to go find more people like this to show the ad to. So the combination of those two things is really how you get the best targeting and don't waste advertising dollars. All right, now we're ready to go. So we're going to do advanced preview here and see what this ad will look like on different placements. So here's this image here, the infographic that we have, what the video will look like on all these different placements once our ad goes live. So we're going to close this out, and then you just hit publish, and you are good to go. So now that your ads are published, they're generating leads now. Now, how do you access them, and what do you do next? How do you now turn these into phone screens and then hires? So by default, Facebook, you'll be able to download the leads in a CSV file from each campaign. This is very manual. You'll need to then pull up that spreadsheet to get the contact information, the answers to the questions. Some people will do that though, and you could upload it if you have an ATS or something like that, or a CRM. But we do recommend creating a little bit more automation around this. There's a couple options here. One is you could use a tool like Zapier to create where you could automatically send these to a Google Sheet or get an email notification when someone applies with the candidate data. One of the things we've done, Boostpoint, the software, we created a software that integrates with Facebook Ads Manager. So this platform does everything from A to Z. Everything you did manually, it does automatically through the ad creation part of things. But then also here, there's a light CRM where you can access the candidate data right within the platform. But the big thing is the best thing is to set up some automation to automatically connect with the candidates. So one thing you can do here is set up a SMS campaign that could be sent immediately, like while they still have their phone in their hand. After they filled out the quick apply, they can get a text message, and then you can set a text message maybe a day or two later just to follow up if they haven't responded. All right, and there you have it. That is the nuts and bolts, everything you need to know to run successful ROI positive recruitment ads on Facebook. If you watch this video and you're like, Sam, this is awesome, and I want to do this tomorrow, but you don't have the time to maybe manually set all this stuff up, I'd invite you to explore Boostpoint. So Boostpoint is the company that I run. Our mission is to be the best in the world at social media job advertising, and we built a system and a software that does all of this for you. So if you're looking for an easy plug and play solution to get this up and running as fast as possible, I'd invite you to go to boostpoint.com and schedule a demo to see how this works.